Today we have a really special one as far as I'm concerned. Now this year a couple of people have found chocolate or caramel pods on one of their 7-pot bubblegum plants. This one is a chocolate 7-pot bubblegum found by John Lackey on one of his plants. And I'll put photographs up. These you probably can see. I can just peel this back a bit. You can probably see how the brown of the pod, reddish brown, does bleed into the calyx, and it does bleed up the stem. You can see that. And it's a very interesting looking, and I'm sure spanking hot pod. So the other one, this one's the same. You can see the brown bleeding into the calyx and up the stem. It's very definitely a big old chocolate pod. So they're a good size thing too. They're just as big as any of the 7-pot bubblegums I've grown or I've seen from other people. So we'll see what it's like. 7-pot bubblegum chocolate variety. So I better hack one of these things open. This one's the larger of the two, a little bit more gnarly I think. So why not go with that one? So let's see what we got. Yeah, perfectly ripe brown pod. This smell is very typical for chocolate super hots. It does smell very 7-pot like, not surprisingly. It's the typical sort of earthy, slightly smoky, kind of what I think of as an undercurrent of tobacco-like aroma. But it's, you know, pretty strong. Just looking inside, I actually don't see very much in the way of oil. The interior is actually a little bit shinier than you'd expect for a lot of super hots. So where you're seeing it being reflective there, that's just the interior of the pod, that's not oil. But there are little bits of oil. In the placenta over here. You see the shiny bit on the placenta there, that's oil. But very cool. Chocolate 7-pot bubblegum. Hi, Nigel Carter here again in the kitchen, and I think you've just seen in the introduction what a special pod that we have today. This is the pod. And this is a second one for comparison. These are chocolate 7-pot bubblegum. Now this one was found on a plant by John Lackey, who's prodigal son on the hot pepper. And I know that there's at least one other person that's found chocolate bubblegum independently, although the phenotype is a long phenotype rather than this one, which is a little bit more Douglas-like, I suppose. It's very 7-pot like actually. And there's also a couple of people who've independently found a caramel variety of the 7-pot bubblegum. So that's all very interesting, and whether or not they're natural mutations or whether they've crossed with something, I can't tell you. But I can eat this one and tell you what I think it tastes like. Now the original 7-pot bubblegum really lit me up. So I'm kind of putting this off because it's a big old pod. There's a lot of placenta in there. And chocolate super hots are not my favourite thing. But let me just gird my loins, as it were, and say cheers. Chocolate 7-pot bubblegum. That's quite sweet. Surprising for chocolate pod. Lots of fumes. Very sweet. Very, very hot. It's sweet, followed by really grassy undertones. And then there's that little bit of the chocolate super hot flavour layered on top. Quite honestly, that's one of the best, if not the best, chocolate super hot I've ever tasted. And it's extremely hot. Flavours are great, really, really good. I really like that a lot. There's a little fruitiness to it too. Sort of mild apple-like fruitiness, which is very interesting. Especially for a chocolate pod. Now the heat's just starting to bank up a bit. And it's really on the rise. So far it's all tongue burn. And it's ferocious tongue burn. And it's starting to really hurt. That's a very painful one. Wow. So I'm sweating already. And it's still on the way up, and it's all tongue now. It's frighteningly hot. That's very hot. I'm already starting to get an endorphin response. Crying a lot as well. Lots of saliva. And it's absolutely destroying my tongue. Absolutely. Ah, that really hurts. And it's still on the way up. On my legs, my feet and my legs are really starting to tingle. That is a very hot pod. I can feel it down in my stomach now. I'm really shaky. Very shaky. Very sweaty. And it's still on the way up. Can't taste anything. It's completely scrubbed my tongue clean. No hot tears on this one, which is surprising. It's a very aggressive black pepper kind of burn. Oh, grief. Really starting to hurt my stomach actually. Oh, just about peaking now. God, that's hot. Flavours are coming back though. Flavours are good. Very surprising. Now it just tastes very earthy. Oh. Yeah, it's definitely peaked now. I'm really shaking like a leaf. Oh. Ay, ay, ay. Lots of tobacco-y-like flavours in the aftertaste. None of the green and the sweetness. Oh. Wow, that was a ride. Well, there you go. Chocolate bubblegum. A little bit short and sweet, but I'm still got buzzing everywhere, and the heat's really pretty much gone now. Sweating like a pig though. So, this is Nigel Carter saying thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with more. See you later.